So first, I want to talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo. So the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, won the 2020 NBA MVP a couple days ago over LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers. And I made an episode about addressing this topic roughly about 2 months ago, stating that Giannis would get my vote for NBA MVP for the 2020 NBA season. And so far today, guys, I'm going to be that bad guy. I'm going to say Giannis deserved the MVP over LeBron James. See, here's what people have to understand. Let me be very clear. LeBron James is a better player than Giannis Antetokounmpo. No one's going to argue that Giannis is better than LeBron unless they're delusional and don't know what they're talking about, okay? LeBron James has been to 9 NBA Finals. He is probably going to go back this year due to the fact that I don't think the Denver Nuggets match up particularly well with the Los Angeles Lakers. That series will probably be over in about 5 games, even though I did predict the other night for the series to go 6 games in favor of the Lakers, but that's neither here nor there, okay? LeBron, excellent passer. He's unstoppable around the basket. He can create his own shot. There are flaws to Giannis' game, and I do want to say that Luka Doncic and James Harden probably deserved a couple more first-place votes than they got, but here's the thing, people. When it comes to the MVP, it doesn't always go to the best player. It's about who's having the best season at the moment. Who's having the most dominant season and who's the most valuable player and the most dominant player during a particular season. Listen, Russell Westbrook has won an MVP. At that time, he deserved the MVP, and no one's going to argue that Russell Westbrook was ever the best player in the NBA at any point. Steve Nash has won multiple MVPs. He was never the best player in the NBA at one point, okay? Once again, it is about who's having the best season during that year. And Giannis, this is not arguable, people. Giannis had more points per game. He had more rebounds. He had a better field goal percentage. He had a better effective field goal percentage. And not to mention, he had the best record in basketball on the Milwaukee Bucks. He led that Milwaukee Bucks team to the best record in the entire NBA, okay? LeBron James led his team in one category only, assist. Anthony Davis, you could make the argument, might have deserved the MVP over LeBron James, okay? You can at least make that argument. That argument is out there to be made, potentially. You may lose that argument, but you can at least somewhat make that argument. Anthony Davis, he averaged the most points per game on the Lakers this past year. He was their leading rebounder, and he was their best defender as well. LeBron James wasn't even the best scorer and the best defender on his own team. Meanwhile, Giannis is out there almost averaging 30 points per game and just won Defensive Player of the Year, an award that he actually deserved, in my opinion. Let's look at LeBron James and Giannis' stats side by side. LeBron James in 34 minutes playing on the court, averaged 25 points per game, 49% shooting, 34% from 3, 7.8 rebounds, 10 assists. Giannis, in 30 minutes playing, so in 4 less minutes played than LeBron James, Giannis, more points per game at 29.5. Better field goal percentage, 55% from the field. 3-point percentage doesn't really matter. Giannis shot 30% from 3. Giannis had 13.6 rebounds and 5.6 assists. I guarantee you that if you flipped LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo stat lines for this year, guess what? If LeBron did not win that MVP award and he had the best record in basketball like Giannis, and Giannis somehow found a way to win the MVP award, you would have Bron sexuals and LeBron James fanboys trying to get petitions to get some of these voters fired. That's what would have happened, people. That's the reality. The goalpost always moves with players when compared to LeBron James. And I love LeBron. LeBron is a great player. He's a top 5 player of all time. Is he the greatest basketball player of all time? No, he's not. If he wins 2 more titles, he might be. Okay, but listen, man. You guys have to stop this. And keep in mind, here's a great comparison. In 2009 and 2010, LeBron James won back-to-back NBA MVPs, very similar to Giannis. In fact, in 2009, LeBron James lost in the conference finals that year. Same thing as Giannis last year. And by the way, I actually think that James Harden deserved the MVP over Giannis last year. But that's a whole other story for another day, okay? I'm arguing for Giannis this year, but I argued against him last year. But that's another story for another day, okay? And same thing happened to Giannis last year. He won the MVP, lost in the conference finals. LeBron James in 2010 had a 66-win Cleveland Cavaliers team and lost in the second round. Giannis had the best record in basketball this year. And he lost in the second round, just like LeBron James lost in the second round back in 2010. And no one had an outrage that LeBron James should not have won MVP because of what he did in the postseason. People, the award is a regular season award. It's not taking into account what you do in the postseason. That's just the harsh reality that you people need to wrap your arms around and wrap your mind across, because everyone keeps bringing up to me, well, Giannis choked in the playoffs. LeBron's still playing, and yes, LeBron is the better player, and I guarantee you that LeBron James would much rather win an NBA Finals MVP rather than a regular season MVP award, but that does not justify the fact that LeBron should be MVP. And keep in mind, when Steph Curry and Kevin Durant joined forces, they were virtually canceled by the media as being MVP candidates. You want to know why? Because the media said, oh, Kevin Durant joined a great team. He joined Steph Curry. They're both interchangeable. They both cancel each other out. Neither can win the MVP because they're both great players. Well, when LeBron James joins Anthony Davis, the same thing does not apply to one LeBron James. It's almost like LeBron James is more so Queen James than King James, because every time the goalpost continues to move for these other players, okay? And listen, I've heard this multiple times. LeBron's in his 17th season. That's the reason he's the MVP. Age does not factor into who should win the MVP. And might I ask you, who's Giannis' best teammate? His best teammate is Chris Middleton. LeBron James has the luxury of playing beside Anthony Davis, one of the 5 to 7 best players in the NBA at the moment. And keep in mind, for most of this season, we've heard the MVP race being between Luka and Giannis early in the season. We've heard people throw in James Harden versus Giannis, after a couple months of the season, once Luka kind of died down. And the later part of the season, it was LeBron James versus Giannis. That should tell you all you need to know. Giannis has been in the conversation from day number 1, and despite choking in the playoffs, he 100% earned that MVP award, and no one can change my mind. Please stop crying, LeBron James fanboys and bronzesexuals, because there's nothing you can do about it, and Giannis, he deserved that MVP award over LeBron James. Stop crying, people. Please, just stop it, okay? Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.